Hello, this is just a very brief video where I want to say DLC should not carry the weight of a game. I feel like Cyberpunk has been doing that with Phantom Liberty since it launched and feels like it was pulling most of the weight. Same with when it comes to the gameplay in that game. I feel like the gameplay is mostly doing more of the weight. The enemies don't feel like they're as calculated or interestingly designed like how Halo games have their enemy designs and stuff. And there are many other things to go into there too. But I have already gone into those things either in previous videos or whatever can be covered. So that's mostly what I say. I want to use, for example, there are other games that have DLCs. You could use, for example, Dark Souls with the Artorias DLC, Artorias of the Abyss, or Elder Scrolls Oblivion with the Shivering Isles. Both those DLCs are excellent, and there's even some bad DLC like Horse Armor. Those DLCs, while they are, in a lot of cases, people say better than the main game, the main game is still what a lot of people come back to and what carries a lot of the weight still, and is still genuinely great. I feel like Cyberpunk is lacking a lot of things that I've also talked about previously, whether it's random encounters, just general life in a lot of places, the fact that NPC civilians don't attack back when you try to aggress them. Most enemies are in specific locations where they just stand around and wait for you to be the one to shoot the first bullet or whatever, and that the cops still kind of feel like they're not nearly as good as cops in other games. Like, take for example the 5-star guys. Like, they're slowly bringing their ship down to have those ninjas, whatever the frick they are, come after you. And guess what you can do? By the time that slow ass ship gets down, you're probably driving miles away. So they're not hard to get away from, even on the 5-star to an extent. So there is some stuff going on there. And of course, like a DLC is probably going to be better. There's a lot of things they can learn from their previous mistakes and have learned, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I just don't think. I feel like that people are letting the DLC carry most of the weight when it really shouldn't be. The game needs to do that. I do think that Cyberpunk could have a chance at a really good sequel, and I've talked about this before too, but I do not think the game is still up to where it needs to be, even with a monorail. And knowing everything I've talked about and know with my general feelings towards the game, I feel like even being on a monorail, I would still be really bored. So I'd be looking at a city that I already know I'm freaking bored by and not impressed by at all. I've seen other games with better cities, with better personalities and characters in general, and just more memorable or iconic in general too. Yeah, there's just a lot. There would be a lot more to talk about there, but I've already talked about it, or am going to talk about in a future video. But I just want to make that brief thing, mostly for the title, so that when you see the title, you're like, okay, I get it. But yeah, that's all I have to say there, and I hope you have an awesome day. Keep in mind, if you do love Cyberpunk, keep loving it. You do whatever, but don't use it as an advantage or reason to be a dickhead to somebody else. I have seen plenty of that, sadly, too. So that's not a good thing either. And I'm pretty sure CD Projekt Red wouldn't want you doing that anyways. I mean, they probably wouldn't want me saying the stuff I am either, but it's just my opinion. Why should they stop me from having an opinion? That's disgusting. I have a freedom of speech. Frick off. But I feel like they don't want you to use your freedom of speech to be disgusting either, though. So I'm hoping, like, I'm not trying to be disgusting with my takes. At least I hope they aren't. If they are, then I do truly apologize, but I don't think they are. When it comes to it, I have sadly seen people be disgusting in how they approach me, whether they're waving their cock around with their ego, basically, or just name calling and stuff, like a typical bully at school or something. That stuff has been ridiculous. I've only deleted one comment that's done both of those technically, and it was very rude and disgusting of them, and I don't want that kind of behavior on here. But know that I haven't deleted every comment, even ones that have been nasty sometimes. Just know that you want to be careful with your wordage. This is real life, not a game. Cyberpunk's a game. If you want to truly love a game that, even a game with choices, I don't think Cyberpunk has very good choices personally. But if that is but if I'm get to the point to you, then when it comes to making choices, I unironically make the right ones in this case, and don't be Renegade Shepherd. Anyways, I will see you next time. Have an awesome day, and stay cool. Stay cool, bird boy.